Hey, welcome back to Common Mansplaining. I'm Eddie, that's Christian, where no opinion is too common. And guys, today we're going to talk about what everybody else is talking about, which is the assassination of the CEO of the health insurance
United
company,
Health. Yeah.
United Health. Right.
The word
Uh,
on the street, yo.
that's the
What
word.
are, what
And
are,
actually,
what are the
I was
common man saying about it?
I had United Health for a while. I think I
Yeah,
don't know.
I've had it. I've had it for a while too. It's
It
not
was a
the
long
best.
time ago, but yeah, they sucked. They were expensive, but
Yes. Yeah.
I wasn't ready to kill anybody.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, before we get started, please hit like, please hit subscribe. We only need 3 more subscribers to get to 700. When I get to our 1,000th subscriber, we're going to do something special. I haven't decided what yet, but we'll do something and
A
try to get us to
calendar
50. Yeah,
with other
the
people more attractive than us.
that's right. Which isn't saying much. All right, so one of the reasons we're doing this is because I don't know as much about this. I
Oh,
saw it
okay.
on TV. Obviously, Christian can maybe fill in some of the gaps for me. Here's what I know so far. I know that the guy is allegedly, at least at this point, Luigi Mangione, and that he, I guess, shot this guy in broad daylight, and then they found
On
him
camera.
on camera, and then they found him with like a manifesto next to him or something that basically pointed to the fact that he was ready to do this, and
He's
so
even indicated some stuff in his hearings. He's basically like admitted to it or different things.
crazy. So yeah,
Uh
so he had a personal
yeah,
incident.
so what people are sussing out about this is he lived a pretty highly privileged life, a lot of um very expensive private schools, obviously Ivy League education,
He
a
was
lot of it
valedictorian at his high school, right?
valedictorian, yes,
Like that's
at a
insane.
yes, a bright fellow, and um I would say above average good looking. In fact,
Yeah,
he's getting a lot of, and that was sort of one of the ways that people identified him too, is kind of memorable good looks.
like
And
almost as good as us,
yeah,
like
well, in our primes,
let's say,
and but that he was traveling the world, but then he supposedly got in an accident and hurt his back, needed back surgery, had some
okay.
pins, and had been in sort of chronic pain, sexual dysfunction, things
Mm-hmm.
like this might resonate with some of our listeners,
Resonates with me.
right? And was very frustrated with the sort of c'est la vie attitude of his insurance company. They weren't like, hey, let's get you back to where you were before, right? Kind of pre-loss condition.
Huh.
It was kind of like, well, this
So
is how you're gonna live with it. This is how your life is from now on, kind of thing. And it's like, we gave you the surgery, I guess.
I guess.
And so he reacted inappropriately, violently, and
Indeed.
stalked somebody who wasn't involved in his claim, at all,
Right.
right? Anyway, and as a way to get the most public, somebody who wouldn't be looking to defend himself wouldn't know that he's a target. In fact, I guess that they would provide a security detail for the CEO just because of his status, and he's turned it down because
Yeah, right.
it's like, why do I need bodyguards? Who's
Why
gonna
would
be
any
he looks like the common man, even though he was an elite. But
right.
so he just walked out on the street, and this man knew who he was looking for, Luigi, and shot him.
That's
Uh,
insane.
so his axe to grind. Now right away, right, a lot of people are not very sympathetic to the American healthcare industry.
Right.
Let's just put that mildly. And we should probably talk about that.
Yeah, people are basically saying that he executed him like righteously, and that this, I'm seeing all these memes like, who's killed more people, Luigi or this guy? And this guy's like, got thousands on his name, and I'm like, no, that's not really how murder
Yeah,
works.
or people like how I okay, the meme I saw too is the one of Shaquille O'Neal sleeping very soundly. It's like how I sleep at night knowing health insurance CEOs are being gunned down in the streets, right?
Wow.
That essentially throwing out our whole system of that life is precious and that we shouldn't be murdering people. But so let's just say that there's a radical wing that were sympathetic or at least not willing to condemn this guy right away. There was some talk like internet sleuths didn't immediately want to jump on and help identify and find out who this person was. It was slow that roll, and then finally the FBI offered a $60,000 reward for information leading to his arrest. And then people started to react. And ultimately, it was somebody at McDonald's who recognized him because he supposedly he'd pulled down his mask. The big picture of him was he'd pulled down his mask to flirt with somebody at a Starbucks or something. So he kept his mask up. It might have been, you know,
And she's like,
him.
"Oh, you're so dreamy. Wait, aren't
Yes.
you that murderer?"
No. This is before he killed anyone.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Yeah.
like before, like the footage of how they were tracking, how they were able to identify him.
Using
He'd been wearing his, which is now socially acceptable to wear masks in public and say,
right.
oh, he's health conscious. He's not just some highway robber, right? And but he took it down to flirt with somebody supposedly in Starbucks. But then somebody at McDonald's saw him ordering and identified him, and they eventually caught him. So yeah, I mean, American healthcare. Maybe this is what he wants is us to discuss why does American healthcare system elicit rage.
But okay, the first thing I'm going to say is, it doesn't matter what almost what they do. Like you really have to. Like that CEO would have had to have run over my daughter or something. Like you can't get to that point where it's like, oh, I'm ready to kill for it. Like, how do you get there? Like, I just don't.
Well, you have to be radicalized gradually. Basically, through
obviously he's upset.
Yeah,
but
it's a megalomania to see as like the world is against you, or that somebody, right, the large institutions are organizing to try to make your life miserable, is a type of narcissism and megalomania. But also, he obviously with his high-end education, what people pointed to, that they have reinforced that anything driven from capitalism that has negative side effects for you must be, must mean that the whole system is corrupt or not working.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's out to get us all, and this guy was super rich and therefore automatically evil, and he had more power, and blah 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 blah. And listen, guys, if you get to the point where you start justifying murder to yourself simply because of a power disparity, you are wrong.
Yeah.
Like wrong, like evil wrong, like deserve to be in jail for the rest of your life wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't get me wrong. Like, that doesn't mean that I like this healthcare CEO. I don't know him very well, but even if I did, probably wouldn't like him. Oh. But that having been said, he doesn't deserve to die. He probably didn't even make any decisions in this case. He probably didn't even sign off on it. It probably didn't even get to his level. It probably gets like 2 levels beneath it.
Oh, I'm sure he's not a medical person at all.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Really, at this high level with corporations this big, he's just a lawyer, and his main thing is how to avoid lawsuits.
Right. United is huge, right? He probably doesn't even. I don't even think the board of directors would handle an issue like this. I don't even think they'd ever see it. There's probably some like mid-level manager that's just like, who doesn't even look at it. Probably just and throws it off to the side. And hey, I bet. Of course, I don't know all the details in this case. So before I start popping off, I should say that take all this with a grain of salt, because I'm not very knowledgeable about
this. This is the street knowledge.
Right, it's the street.
Yeah, a lot more will come out. But yeah,
I bet that he had just called and started whining. See, this is what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't I'm not giving. I want to just caveat. I'm not giving like medical advice, right? Because I can't.
Yes.
I'm not a trained medical professional. I'm
Nope.
not giving legal
Neither
advice.
am I. Yep. Neither am I.
But that having been said, this is what I do whenever I run into a problem in anywhere in the world of the corporate America. I say, "Can I talk to your supervisor, please?" And then if that person can't help me, I say, "Can I talk to your supervisor, please?" And if that
Escalate.
person can't help me, I say, "Can I talk to your super?" Because listen, eventually you get to somebody in the chain of command who bills out at so much money per hour that they're like, what the hell is this doing on my desk? Please solve this problem. It would have cost us half as much if you'd have just solved it. Right? That's how it works, right? You just start pressing the money button over and over and over again. And once you get to a point where you're pressing a money button where you're talking to like, you know, the vice president of regional operations or something on the East Coast, he's like, guys, I make $500 an hour. What am I doing with this stupid case? Please handle this. And he gives it back down to it, and then they do it. Like, trust me, that's how it worked in my now.
Well, CYA is how corporate structure works, though, and so appealing to somebody like that and having it kicked down to you is an important step, right? So yeah, so I think this is Eddie. I've learned from long experience with Eddie that whining will get you everything. You get to draw more cards in Magic.
Draw more cards in Magic. If you whine enough, you get almost. If you have to do it right, now you have to practice. You got to like kind of practice your wine.
You become a wine connoisseur. Yes.
Exactly. A wine connoisseur. Perfect.
Yes. But I mean, yes. So in our modern world, he had lots of ways to redress. He had lawsuits. He could have appealed to the media. He could have worn a T-shirt. He could have started a podcast.
Right. See, that's what I said on the video. He's a young, attractive, like very good looking, very smart, very, bright kid. Probably one, like, I bet you if we looked in his yearbook, it was like most likely to succeed or something written all over it. And he could easily have started a platform like ours and probably gotten more subscribers in 1/10 the time and made me super jealous. And then like he could have spent his whole life railing against the health insurance of the world.
Yeah.
And probably would have moved the needle far more. Like this probably doesn't do anything. No. The only thing this probably does is probably make some CEOs now accept their security details.
Yeah, their security details. Yeah, absolutely. So the American health insurance is not perfect. It's not. It's not beyond needing of improvement. So I'm not here to carry water for that or the industry, but certainly not random violence against individual executives.
Right.
Is certainly has to be dealt with harshly, and he'll be facing charges that will put him in jail for, if not his entire life, a significant amount as to make no difference.
It's first degree, because premeditated. The only thing I can think of is maybe given all of his previous lifetime of exemplary performance in academia, and maybe they'll give him like a first offender's bargain. I'm hoping.
Well, all that would mean if it's a federal crime they charge him with, it means you go to a lower security grade prison, like a camp.
That's it.
Instead of medium security or max. So he's still same. I mean, they'll go with second degree murder.
Yeah, okay.
But I mean, it's still 25 years. But then the parole hearings could be tough, right? For somebody who acts against somebody who has not personally wronged them. I mean, one thing if he had shot up even like his claim handler or his agent's house or something, but somebody that high level, that's too abstract. They consider that an antisocial act. And so
I'm trying to figure out why he didn't just hire somebody to do this for him. And like, he seemed like a smart guy.
Let's not suggest ways.
I'm not giving anybody any like.
Yeah, let's not try to solve his problems and how to solve it.
I just can't wrap my head around this. I just can't. I just like, no matter how. And let me just say for the
It's
record,
it's definitely not how we would decide things. Clearly,
as it
our minds work
happens,
different.
Christian is personally like knowledgeable about an insurance situation that I personally went through because Christian used to work with the insurance companies closely, right? And so one of the things that happened to me was a tree fell on my house, right? And so I reached out to Christian to get the thing repaired, and then my insurance company like approved the external damage, and then but this was from a huge storm that knocked the tree on my house with torrential downpouring rain, which leaked into the roof. And so like they paid for the external damage, which was like $1,000 after the deductible. It was like 2,000 total, and then denied my $23,500 internal damage that I had to pay out of pocket. And believe me when I say that I am also livid about that, right? Like I'm also very, very angry.
I mean, yeah, that was a weasel move.
God, what a weasel, man. I'm still determining whether or not I'm going to try to pursue that legally. But that having been said, never in my wildest imagination did I even fathom the possibility of doing something violent because of it. Never.
No. We're common men, and our outrage has to be commonly scoped.
This is my revenge right here. One of these days, this channel's gonna, get like 1,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers, and then 2,000 people are gonna hear it, and they're gonna be like, you know what? I'm not going to deal with Allstate because Allstate, you're not in good hands with Allstate. Just saying.
I would not deal with
that having been said,
no es bueno.
No bueno. Allstate, and probably I would guess most of the big companies are they're probably taught to do the whole like let's deny claims automatically, and
Allstate and State Farm are particularly malicious. Usually, they want to act in what's called good faith.
Sure.
And I think that's the thing too. When you have so many interactions, I've had different health insurance over the years. From when I was in the corporate world, I had like one of those really ridiculously good health insurance plans when I was at Lehman Brothers before they went belly up.
Right.
And this on a no deductible, I could go to specialists whenever I like at the drop of a hat. Neurologist. Nice. Oh, you're having headaches? How about one of the best neurologists on the West Coast? Like no drama. They get my insurance. They're like, yeah, we can fit you next week. They're like, anyway, like so I've had it where the wheels were get greased and where I'm at now where I've had like the ones that are right on the edge of sort of co-op Christian ones that aren't exactly health insurance kind of things. So I know the verities of care, but I also am personally pretty healthy. I don't.
Right.
I try to be. I guess I've been lucky, and I've avoided alcohol, tobacco,
right. That
drugs.
Helps a lot. Yeah, the book, the Mormon
word of wisdom, we call it.
Like abstinence from
health codes has kind of helped me. And then in general, growing up, my generation is kind of where health food or sort of watching what we eat became a little bit of an issue. Now, the thinking about what we eat has obviously changed, and what constitutes healthy changes, but it's still, we're conscientious of it. It's just,
hopefully RFK can help with some of that. But I'll tell you this, and again, like I said, I'm not I did do household finance for a while, but in this role that I'm playing right now, I'm not giving you financial advice. But one thing that I'll tell you while not giving you this advice is that insurance companies are out to make money. Like that is their
for profit.
To make money. So like, don't be surprised when they make these moves that are strictly for profit. That is their entire purpose in life. And
you can't give up.
That having been said too, like, if for anybody out there who has a little bit of money saved up and doesn't have to have insurance, it is probably a good idea on average not to get insurance.
If you're young.
If you're young, and if you don't have to, like obviously you have to get liability for your car no matter where you are and stuff like that.
If you have a mortgage, you have to insure your home.
Some of your some states require, but just letting you know, like when you do this, expect to get the raw end of the deal, because that's the whole point of the company, right? Just like you wouldn't walk into a convenience store and think, I'm going to buy the Snickers bar and they're not going to screw me over with the price, right? Like that's Snickers bars are supposed to be high margin, bad items to get. Like that's just how it works, right?
Yeah.
And the whole point of a Snickers company is to make money.
Yeah.
So don't be so surprised when it happens. But yeah, I mean, I think that the health insurance world could be a lot. I think one of the problems, honestly, is that Obamacare and the way that we run so like I was looking into a lot of different health options for America, and I feel like if the state ran it, it would be better, and if private companies ran it, it would be better. But instead, we like push them both together, and it's like the worst of all worlds. So like because we have this situation where some of it is covered, then the insurance companies charge like a boatload because it's covered, you know, and then they know they can get away with like building these insurance companies millions and millions of dollars, and you know it's like and then for someone like me who doesn't have insurance, it can become a nightmare because I'm like, why am I paying? And then they give me this huge discount. They're like, oh, you don't have insurance? We'll give you the non-insurance discount, and it's like goes from like $3,000 down to $150. I'm like, what? Why is everybody else paying that? You know, like this is a Frankensteinian monster.
Well, they almost set up, the state, the private companies in the state as almost like rival gangs. They're both like trying to get each other, and it's like, hey, how can we stick it to the state? Oh, well, we can charge them, and the state is, how can we stick it to the insurance companies? Oh, we can force them to pay for this procedure, and it's like they're trying to ruin each other's day. Now, in America, there's health insurance has always been like a three-legged stool, right? You can have highest quality health coverage. You can have wildly available health coverage, and you can have wildly affordable health coverage.
Yep.
You can pick any two of those that you want.
Yep.
But when you get but what the left and the pie in the sky is, they say they're going to give all three, and it all falls apart. You have to pick two of those, right?
Yeah.
Canada has said, all right, free health care, but it runs out, right? Or you're waiting really, really long. It's
they have affordable.
Yeah.
And they have
no. Yeah, they have affordable, and they have high quality.
Good quality, but it takes forever. You're going to be
takes forever. It's not as available. It's less availability.
Right.
Then in other places they have high availability and low cost, but then the quality goes down. The U.S. has opted for high quality, high availability, and high cost.
Now, I will say I like the concept of, I mean, I don't know if there's a good way to implement, and I'm still, piecing together my own thoughts on this matter, but I like the concept of producing affordability and quality, and then you can pay for the availability. Like as like kind of a private measure. Like if you'd like to be in line, great. But if you want the service now, if you want that souped up insurance plan like Christian had at his nice job. This is probably also back when it was easier to get better health insurance too.
Yeah, this was 06, 07.
But if you want that, yeah, you can pay for it. You can do it if you want, but like also if you don't, I think that it should still be relatively affordable and, good quality service for the mass. I don't know how that would work exactly. I'd have to kind of.
Well, the thing is, even in this world where essentially we've accepted higher costs, we're paying more for healthcare than they do in other countries.
A lot more.
Because where our expectation is that we'll have higher quality,
right,
higher availability. So when one of those legs lets you down, like Luigi, he felt like the quality he got, right, that he had this back surgery, now he's having chronic pain, and it's destroying his life. And not that there aren't solutions or long-term, but he felt betrayed by the system, right? Or when people, and one of the big problems is in rural communities or smaller towns, they have a hard time finding good quality medical people because the AMA puts a limit on how many people can become doctors, right? And
Yeah.
so what happens is you have certain kind of health deserts. I actually briefly applied to work for a company, and their whole thing was, trying to get doctors to come and work, even temporarily, short term, in these underserved communities, right?
Mm,
And how much they would pay them. Hey, something like $3,000 a day to come down to these underserved communities because they just doctors, right? Southern California, we have
right.
tons of doctors because if you've got money, Southern California is a fantastic place
It's
to
a great
live.
place to live. Yep.
But it's like, but when they think of rural Eastern North Carolina, excuse me,
Uh-oh.
they're not they're disinclined to
Acquiesce.
take to acquiesce to it, or work in a smaller hospital or some of the glamour. No, it's not universal, but obviously, we say, well, allow more doctors. That's kind of thing. Allow more people. There are
Right.
more people that would like to study to become doctors. The AMA
Yeah.
has so
No.
much power. The AMA, right? This is a type of thing I'm not interested in how you come down on this. The AMA says they want to keep doctors' pay high,
Yeah.
right? Or they say they want to protect against unscrupulous or poorly trained or bad doctors,
Hmm.
right? By restricting the number of quality people that can become medical school. Do you think that's a little bit hogwash now, that we should really have a higher limit, or that they shouldn't be able to regulate something like a fixed number of people that can go to medical school?
Yeah. To be completely honest with you, I don't recognize their right to do that. I think now, I think we could almost spend an entire video just on the AMA and their history and how they've kind of muscled out the rest of the medical world. I mean, their history is vicious. Like, it's just as bad as the insurance companies every bit, as far as pushing private practice out of the way and making sure that they control. They've got this vice grip on everyone that comes through in the collegiate world, and I think that doctors should be well paid. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's where we have that tiered system where I think you could figure out a way where you could create a tiered system where you could definitely still pay doctors well to receive affordable, available, high quality service right away.
Mm-hmm.
But that having been said, if somebody wants to be a doctor and wants to work for whatever they want to work for, I mean, that's on them. Like, that's
I mean,
it
yeah,
should
if
never
they can,
be up
if
to
they
like
can,
some random like a 3-letter agency to just say, no, you can't do what you want to do when you grow up because, you know,
well, you're right. Like, so many people who are really highly trained, right, just can't get into medical school. It's kind of crazy, like what you have to do to get into medical school.
yeah,
So they'll go overseas.
yeah,
I had a friend whose mother went to France for 4 years so that she could become a doctor and then come back. The whole war in Grenada, how we invaded Grenada was because there
yeah,
was a
yeah.
medical school there to rescue some medical students who couldn't, because they had a non-AMA medical school there. All right, I can't get in here. I'll go to school in Grenada, or
Right.
it's a whole type of thing. And then you can come back and try to practice here. It is, um, and there are unscrupulous doctors, even ones that graduate from good medical schools. And there are people, though, that go to medical school because it's a free country and then decide, you know what? I don't really enjoy
Right.
working in medicine. I don't know if you've seen The Big Short, but this very famous Wall Street investor now, went to medical school and was really good at it, but he came out, graduated, and went immediately into stock trading. Like, that's what he enjoyed more. And like, so
More
we
money
invested this whole seat
slot. Right.
slot for this person, and now they're not even practicing medicine. And so, the AMA,
You know what amazes me though is that,
yeah,
like, it's weird. It's because AMA is like, it's like they're part of the institution, right? And so
is
because of
this the
that,
deep state almost?
yeah, almost. It's like, it's weird because it's like, if I were to ask like somebody on the left, right, like, what do you think about the AMA? They'd be like, oh, we must have them. They're absolutely essential to the the smooth operation and the high
Well,
quality of the,
they're sort
and
of
then
pro union, yeah.
right. But then it's like the moment we go to insurance, it's like insurance is a terrible thing. But I'm like, they're very, very similar in the way that they operate. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's like, it's okay for the AMA to do this act, right, where you're basically muscling out competition and creating a high cost of an item. And then when the insurance does the exact same thing, like it's like, oh, they're terrible and they need to be eradicated from the face of the universe. I'm like, wait, why? Why the one stance here
Yeah.
and essentially the opposite stance here? I mean, my thing is just
Well, yeah. Now we see
pick a spot on the spectrum.
disruptors. Nobody's wanted to take on the AMA, Republican or Democrats.
Yeah.
They've just
Oh,
kind of
hopefully.
left it alone. And I mean that would be something that if Trump really wanted to do, and they're like, let's reevaluate status quos. Why do we have this here? Right?
Right.
These are the debates, and if we could get more subscribers, if people could listen to us, get our ideas out there, be like, if and it doesn't have to be because of Luigi and
Right.
his inappropriate thing, but it doesn't mean that American healthcare system is beyond tweaking, or
Oh,
that there
definitely.
is no room for
Gosh,
improvement.
plenty of room for improvement. And you know what? For, don't ever use the violent route if you can avoid it. But he did get everybody talking, so I will give him that. I mean, like it's basically the moment you open X, the moment you open Facebook, it's like bing bang boom. There's a meme for him or for the situation, and I guess let's keep that conversation going because it's definitely a good conversation to have. So.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah, let us know what you guys think below in the comments, and we'll catch you next time on Comment Mansplaining.
Keep it coming.